I spent 2 weeks in Antarctica.
We all love Lebanon and we are not Lebanese, so I can imagine.
Using heat to cool, which was a new concept.
What can you tell us about your personal life? What motivates you? What habits do you have?
I was impressed, I was inspired by the high-rise building, by the fast-moving economy.
How do you prepare for that? Welcome to another episode of Masters of Green, the show where we speak to some of the people who are shaping the renewable energy industry in the MENA region. I am your host, Waleed Alhallaj, and today I have with me Michel Abi Saab, the General Manager of Emerge. Michel, I'm very happy to have you here. رقم واحد. رقم اثنين, I want to tell you that I always felt that you are one of the nicest people in the industry. Very humble, very easy to approach, and that's not very usual from a GM in the region, to be honest.
Thank you so much for it.
Michel, one thing that was really interesting going through your CV and preparing for this interview is how technically strong you are, especially how many extra certification you have got. You did your masters, you have CEM, CMVP, Lead AP, ISO 50001, all these technical certifications. How do you feel being technically strong helped you be the professional you are today?
Thank you very much, Waleed, and thank you for the opportunity to be with you today. I studied engineering and I started my career as a mechanical engineer. And I believe this helped me shape who I am. As an engineer, you ask many questions. And I think in our industry, there are so many challenges and you need to ask questions because this is how you can overcome challenges and how you can think also about the whole situation so you can find the right solution for it. So definitely my engineering background helped me shape who I am. But of course, when you grow in your career, you need to also focus on other skills. Engineering alone or technical knowledge alone is not enough. So you need to focus on people management, you need to focus on financial skills because all these are important to lead a company and to be successful in what you do. But definitely I give credit to my engineering because not only it helped me ask questions, but also it helps me look at my team and try to coach them, to ask questions, to have a holistic view on problems. Because if we don't understand the client needs and the needs of the technical solutions that we are proposing, then we cannot offer excellent solutions to our clients.
But Michel, do you think having all these extra international certifications, played a role in you reaching the stage you are today in your career?
Absolutely. These certificates, if you look at my career, I did a lot of work on the demand side and the supply side. I did work in air conditioning, I did work on lighting, electrical systems, and lately solar. So it's important to understand how systems work. And if you don't do that, it's difficult to propose the right solutions. So all these certifications and the knowledge I gained, whether on the demand side or the supply side, helped me focus more into bringing new ideas and solutions to our clients.
So do you advise younger engineers to go ahead with these such certifications?
Absolutely. I think in the beginning of your career, you need to learn. It's all about, even until now, I still learn, of course. But in the beginning, you need to be curious, you need to ask questions. And this is, I think, a very good, very important lesson for anyone starting their journey today. If your job even is boring, then you are in the wrong job. You need to raise questions and try to push your boundaries all the time.
So looking at Michel outside Emerge, the person that we don't see maybe in webinars and events and so on, what can you tell us about your personal life? What motivates you? What habits do you have?
Yes. You see, Waleed, I like simple things in life. I love family. I love being with friends. I also have some hobbies that keep me going and help me distress and get away from my work zone. One of them being cooking. So I enjoy cooking.
Wallah.
And especially cooking for friends, with friends, and baking especially. I do that as a hobby after work, during weekends. I also enjoy traveling, exploring new cultures, meeting new people. I enjoy discussing interesting topics with friends. I also enjoy gardening, and this is something that started recently when we moved to a new house with a big garden. So I enjoy spending time in the garden and trying to take care of plants, seeing them grow, especially in this environment, which is not
True.
easy
True.
for plants. So I think this gives me a good sense of being calm and relaxed. And the best part is when I combine both gardening and cooking. So one of the things I enjoy doing is when I use my garden as a source of ingredients for
brilliant.
my cooking. So I show off with friends, picking basil, tomatoes from the garden and cooking for them.
But Michel, if I may ask, how did the role of family and activities become more important with time? Do you feel that they became more important now than they were 10 years ago, or change of position, responsibilities?
I think so. I think family, when you get married, you have kids, your responsibilities change and of course grow. So I felt when I have, the moment I started the family, I felt that my priorities also changed. Of course, before that, priorities were more work-related, focusing on my personal well-being and personal interests. Today, I'm focusing not only on that. Of course, you need to take care of yourself, but also focusing on having a good time as a family, helping my kids grow, coaching them, and I do enjoy that as well.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And also something that was interesting looking back to your career, your CV, is the fact that you spent now almost 17 years at Masdar and Emerge. And I always tell people that maybe you should change every once in a while because it gives you new experiences, new exposure. It grows you as a professional. But obviously you did something different, and mashallah, you are the general manager of Emerge today. How do you think staying at one company for a long time shaped the professional you are today and the career that you had?
Yeah, I think it depends on the culture, on the environment which you are working in. I'm a kind of person who gets bored quickly as well. I need challenges, I need new things, I need to learn all the time. And what I'm fortunate about that, my very long time at Masdar and then Emerge, I kept myself doing new things. And as you know, Masdar back when it started almost 20 years ago, it was a new concept. We were talking about solar when nobody was talking about solar. We were talking about sustainability in a place where sustainability was not really something to talk about. I'm talking about environmental sustainability here. So I think being in that environment kept me interested to move on and try to explore new technologies, meet new technology providers, try to come up with new ideas to meet the objectives of building the most sustainable city in the world, meet the objective of making renewable energy accessible to all. So this kept me going. And because my passion is nature and environment, I think this is what kept me going in a company for a long time. And I kept changing roles as well within the company. So I was fortunate also to work in different sectors or in different places within the company, starting as a solar cooling engineer, for example, using heat to cool, which was a new concept, and then moving into energy efficiency, try to help or try to come up with ideas to make buildings more sustainable. I was also, fortunate to design some of the most sustainable buildings in the region. And moving on to the supply side, exposure to solar in different markets as well. Solar requirements in Europe are not the same as solar requirements in the GCC, for example. So this diversity, these changes, and these new concepts and new horizons helped me enjoy my job even after a long time in the same company, because as you know, Masdar Emerge are affiliated. So at the end of the day, almost 16 years now and going hopefully for many more years.
MashaAllah. But you also believe that a professional needs to have a change in their career every once in a while, right?
I do believe they need a change to be placed in different positions, whether same company or different companies, it doesn't matter. I think you need to be in an environment that pushes you forward. If you're not in an environment where you feel like you need to progress and push yourself, push your boundaries, I think you are in the wrong place.
I agree. Now, I'm going to ask you a little bit of question. We were talking, I am from Jordan, you're from Lebanon, even Muhammad with us is from Sudan. I want to talk about this topic, the migration of talents from Levant, from North Africa into the GCC region. Number one, I'm pretty sure we all understand why, but how do you feel growing up in Lebanon and gaining the knowledge and the challenges of a Lebanese young man growing? How did they shape who you are today in the UAE?
Great question, Waleed. You see, there are great talents coming from the Levant area to the GCC, and I think one of the reasons is we have great universities where we are, like in Lebanon, in Jordan, in Egypt. In the region, you have great universities and great talent, because we are also, we work it is not easy to live in these countries. In our countries, life is not simple, life is not easy. And for that reason, I think we build some skills, some soft skills that makes you a better person, I think. And combining these skills and this very good academic background with a place like in the GCC where you have so many opportunities, you push the boundaries, you are exposed to the latest technologies, amazing processes and very fast-moving economies. It's a great recipe for us to move from our, to use our background, our academic and social background, to serve a bigger mission here and to help these countries grow. And I remember when I came here as a visitor in 2005, I was in my last year of university. I was impressed, I was inspired by the high-rise building, by the fast-moving economy, by the skills people have. So as an engineer, I felt I want to be here, I want to be part of this. So I think it works very well for us to have opportunities to work here, and for the countries here to have access to our skills available in the Levant. So I think it's win-win, and hopefully one day we can also bring this expertise back to our countries and help build our countries even better.
Do you see yourself ever working in Lebanon again?
That's a very interesting question, Waleed. You see, I love Lebanon. Of course, I'm attached to my country.
We all love Lebanon, and we are not Lebanese, so I can imagine.
Yes, I love it here as well. For me, UAE is my second home, and my children are born here. So for me, I consider UAE as my second home, and I love it as much as I love Lebanon. Going back there one day, maybe, who knows where life could take you. If I can bring some of my expertise to help my country, then why not? I would love to do that.
Definitely in the energy sector, of course. Yeah,
sure.
There is a lot to be done there, a lot to be done. Tayyip, one of the things that were really interesting, I was doing a research and I saw this interview where you talk about your experience in Antarctica. And I'm not going to ask you the question I prepared. I just want to tell you want you to tell me about the trip. Yes. How was it working in one of the most remote areas in the world, solar or no solar? Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Waleed, this was one of the most exciting experiences in my life. It's a life-changing experience, and I would love to share some of my feelings about this experience. I traveled there in 2018. I spent 2 weeks in Antarctica, and my role was to go and study the energy in one of the Australian stations. It's called Casey Station. So my mission was to analyze the energy in that station, try to find ways to improve energy efficiency and to reduce their reliance on fossil fuel. And so let's start. I'm going to focus more on the experience than the work. From the moment I landed, even before landing actually, the moment I was getting ready for the experience, it's amazing. It's things that I never expected. However, I had a dream, and I always dreamt to visit Antarctica. So for me, first of all, to be able to make this dream come true was already an achievement. So preparing for the trip, understanding the requirements from safety perspective, weather perspective, mentality perspective, you are disconnected from the world. It's not like if you need to, and I only spent 2 weeks there. Some people spend years there without visiting, homeland. And you are in a place so remote, it's a different lifestyle. Think about it. You are sitting in one place.
How do you prepare for that? I don't know. How do you?
You need to prepare mentally. You need to prepare physically. Now, I only spent 2 weeks, so really mentally, I wasn't really challenged mentally. But still, there are things like, an example is being able to the daylight was present 24 hours. So living for 2 weeks under daylight is something I never experienced before. Going to bed at 3 a.m. and the sun is still up, it's not usual. So the moment I landed in Antarctica, seeing the vast land, everything is white, it's so humbling, by the way. And the silence, there's no noise, it's just silence. So being there is already a huge shock, positive shock, I would say, something I never expected. In fact, we landed on an airport that is an ice shelf of
Oh.
600 meter deep. So the moment you look down, you see this deep blue color. The ice is so beautiful. Everything is so beautiful. The sky is white. The land is white. And then, going around it, seeing penguins, seeing seals, having walks in the night around the station when it's so cold, the snow is falling so nicely, and then you see the animals around you that have never been touched, that have never been disturbed also. So it reminds you of how small we are, of how important protecting the planet, and also discussions I had with people on the stations. These are scientists that are studying ice, penguins, plastics in the oceans, climate change. These people have spent decades studying. So these discussions we used to have every day after work are so deep and so inspiring. And also seeing the impact of humans on the planet. You see it firsthand there, because for the first time I felt it. Like it becomes personal. The climate change challenge becomes personal when you visit Antarctica, because the ice is melting, and you can ask, you can see it, you can feel it. The scientists are telling you, showing you data. Plastic, who would expect to have microplastics in Antarctica when there's only little people? But you see the impact of the world has even reached Antarctica in terms of pollution. So microplastics has been tested, has been seen in Antarctica. And this is a wake-up call for us, that every single thing we do anywhere in the world will have an impact to even the most vulnerable areas in the world, such as Antarctica.
Yeah.
So
imagine if the impact are very visible there.
Yes.
How is it around us, where there is
Exactly.
millions of people revolving? True. I think really climate change is a personal challenge, because it really affects our lives. And at the end of the day, maybe you are going to think about maybe the lives of your children and their children and so on. So it really touches us. Do you feel working in such an industry, my last episode, we call it a romantic industry, it's very emotional. Do you feel that drives you more and more?
Yes. Look, passion drives me. Living, working in an environment or in an industry that I enjoy is definitely a must. It's not even a question. For me, it's very important to believe what you do, to believe that what you do is a mission that will help you and will help others. For me, this is really important. In fact, in Antarctica, one more thing I want to talk about, you can feel that small actions matter. I remember when we landed in the station, we had a brief from the manager of the station that we could only take one shower every 2 days and maximum 2 minutes shower. Why? Because water is so scarce. You need to spend so much energy to produce water. Same story here. And by the way, you can live with it. You can adopt. Yeah. You can adapt. So the message here is, we can adapt. We can still make a difference. If each one of us takes it seriously, we can make a difference. And the team there has made a difference. We were able to save energy. We were able, in fact, one of the outcomes of my trip was to install 30 kilowatts solar plant in Antarctica, which was also a crazy thing.
True.
So I'm very happy to have impact also on the South Pole.
That's great. You said something important about passion. And doing my research, I remember one of the interviews you've had, you said that for you, passion is more important than experience. Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Sure. I see both very important. Experience and passion are both important. Experience because we are in a business that requires highly skilled people. Our solutions are new. Our solutions need experienced people, skilled people to do them, to design them and execute them. So definitely experience is important. But experience without passion is not enough. I think because experience, you can learn it. You spend time in the industry, you learn how to do it. But passion is something you cannot learn. It's something, it doesn't come with the job, something that you need to have. And passion will take you to that extra mile. To have excellence in what you do, if you're not passionate about it, you will not do it with love. You will not do it day and night. I want people to really believe in what they do, to come to work with a purpose, to feel about what they do. And I think this will help them deliver much better results and will have much more impact. So definitely passion. I look at it for every individual that is in my team. And I'm very proud to say that passion drives us, drives what we do.
I think you can see that by the impact that Emerge did with very small team. That shows that the team especially when they started in the beginning. They had you had an amazing start. Like the impact was massive in the early stages. Now the team, of course, is bigger and wider and covers more regions. But you can tell the team is really passionate because of the impact that you had. Yani, mashallah, Rami, Shankar, all these guys did an amazing job when their team was very, very limited.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
that shows the importance of passion at Emerge.
It is.
Maybe. True. طيب, looking back at your experience, 17 years, Masdar and Emerge, before that in the mechanical sector, what do you think are the most important lessons that you have learned over these years?
Yes.
Personally or
Yes.
professionally?
Yes. I think agility is a very important lesson, and not feeling devastated when there is a challenge, or not panic when there are things that are out of your control. I think you need to take a deep breath when you are faced with a challenge. You need to take a deep breath. You need to rethink. You need to think calmly and put the options in front of you and be ready for change. I think you should not take immediate action when you are faced with a crisis. Of course, you need to take actions quickly. I'm not saying no, but you need to take time to think quickly, but you need to take time to think, and you need to put options in front of you. The worst thing you do is when you don't think about options. So something I learned is I need to think thoroughly about what options do I have. Even if I don't have the answers for all the questions, it's okay. You cannot have answers for the questions. And this is when you need to use your intuition and your experience in how to move on. But you need to think before you take action. So being agile and be ready to change and to think outside the box is really important.
Yeah. Is there a lesson that cost you a lot to learn? Like something that was really, really tough, but a very important lesson in your life?
We've been through crisis. Whether, we are in the world, we have faced financial crisis. When I came here, the world was amazing. And then after 1 year, the financial crisis hit the world. And then another one hit a bit later on. So these instances in your life, they actually taught me many lessons. They taught me how to think outside the box, how to benefit from a challenge. Sometimes you might see it's the end of the world. But I can now tell you that many occasions when you lose things, they make you understand, they give you chances as well. Life is not always negative. When you have an accident, where you have anything that could impact you negatively, it could actually be a wake-up call, or it could be an opportunity for something even better than what you used to have. Sure. So I always believe I am an optimist person. I believe there's nothing in life that cannot be overcome. I think you need to take every challenge, let it not harm you, let it not put you down. There is always a room for getting over it and maybe create even better opportunities from it.
True. I think in our region that's very important as well, because of everything that's happening around us. You always need to be ready to pick yourself up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the one that will survive, that will last, is the one that really benefits and look at things in a different perspective, not just look at the pessimistic or the bad part of things. There's always a good side in everything.
True. What inspires you? I don't know if there are people who do, or activities that inspire you. Is there anything that brings you inspiration in your life?
What inspires me, of course, in my career, I met inspiring people, and I watched inspiring people. I get inspirations from the surrounding, whether it's people, whether it is events. So I do get inspired. I watch documentaries a lot. I listen to podcasts about CEOs, about not only CEOs, about people that made an impact. For example, I'm a big fan of Jane Goodall that passed away in 2025. And this person, since I was a kid, I was following her journey, how someone that made a huge impact on life, on the animals, on the environment. And even the last moment before she died, she was still pushing. She was more than 90 years old and still working hard, still working for the same cause. So this is one person that is an inspiration to me. And there are many other examples Waleed, about inspiring people in life.
طيب, before we conclude, now after this time, with all the experience that you have gained, if you get the chance to go back and give one advice to Michel, the fresh graduate in mechanical engineering in Lebanon, what would the advice be?
Well, Waleed, I think one advice is to enjoy life. Life is so precious, life is so precious. Moments that this moment today it may not come, right? Again, the moment now we are chatting, it's a great time to really enjoy. So I think enjoying life, appreciating every moment with friends, with family. So be in the present. Let's not overthink about things. Let's just keep it simple. Try to find. There is always hope. There is always ways to learn, ways to grow. There's always somewhere, somehow, something to do to keep you happy. And this is why I encourage people to have a hobby, to do something they like. If I look back in time, I would just say to myself, don't worry, there are things that will happen against your will, but keep track, keep focused, keep discipline. Life is not always difficult. Life has also a great side of it. And let's enjoy life and enjoy the path, enjoy the people we meet.
تعرف Michel, every single time I ask someone this question, they never say anything related to work. And when you think about it, how much time and mental capacity your professional career takes out of your life, especially in your 20s, 30s, 40s, eventually everybody says the advice is, man, live your life, live in the present, enjoy your moments. So I feel that there should be more focus on living your life, because your career will happen anyway. You work hard, of course, that doesn't undermine the effort that you have to put, but maybe we neglect our personal lives a little bit, especially in a very competitive region, very competitive industry.
You see, Waleed, life is these moments are the fuel for your work as well. If you don't have good time, how can you be creative? Plus, good moments could lead to business opportunities as well. Networking, meeting people, and enjoying your time with them. At the end, it's about relationship, and yes, so good moments are important for you and for the industry as well.
Well, shukran, Michel. It was brilliant. I'm very happy I got the chance to talk to you, and I would like to thank everybody for your time, and we look forward to having you in another episode.